What's up, everybody? Welcome to an all-new episode of SCNS Live, the Super Cool Nerd Show. Thank you for joining us out there in the Super Cool Nerd Nation for another show of news and comic books and toys and stuff. We just like doing this whole thing here. Anyway, I'm Jason the Expert. I'll do this show by myself. Over here is my friend Kat.
Hi.
With the bluest of blue hair.
It is true.
It is like Sonic blue.
Very blue.
Like, would you like a golden ring and then lose it?
Oh, no. Don't be mean.
First of all, I need to have like 37 to feel safe.
37. Absolutely. I panic when I lose them. Oh, yeah.
The water.
I'm so bad at that game.
And also part of the blue crew over there.
I mean, yeah.
It's Cass.
Hi there. I only have half of blue hair. I think it's good enough.
I feel as though a trend might be happening here on the show. But
you know who's next?
Over there, what, me? No, I don't know if my... I don't know. Anyway, over there turning knobs, making everything look pretty sound good. It is Cora.
Hi.
Hey.
So you have to do the kawaii. What?
Not yet.
Wait, what? How does it go? Money, cute. Please.
Oh, and then they like that.
Absolutely.
Please.
I got nothing. Cool.
Oh wait, no. It was this. Money, cute. I'm gonna.
That I do recognize. Yes.
I'm
No,
gonna
the other one I have
stop on the
no
main
idea.
cam
That one I
and
do recognize. Yeah.
We're never gonna talk about this again.
Fantastic.
I don't know where to go from there. Anyway, like I said, thank you for joining us out there. Guys, we got some big plans coming up because I feel like I should talk. Well, I mean, 2 years ago, well, a little bit over 2 years ago now, we were all at a con and we were having a good old time, pre-con night.
Thank you.
Ready to do our thing, having a couple drinks. It was the bunny
Having
hutch.
fun.
And then
Interviewing goofing off.
And everything went to crap overnight.
They canceled the rest of the con.
Literally, they canceled the con right then and there.
Which was the right thing to do.
It was, to their credit. But yes, guys, All Con is finally making its return 2 weeks from now, right?
It's not. No, it's not this weekend. It's not next weekend. It's the weekend after that. It's
So,
like Halloween
28th
weekend.
through the 31st, yeah.
So, yes, we will be in attendance. We were granted press. I've spoken to Todd Carlton, who is the head of the con. He's very happy to have us back. He also wants some content from us, so look for that announcement coming up real soon. But sadly, it won't be held at the Crown Plaza. The Crown Plaza did not survive the pandemic. I was working over there, and I noticed, like, every time I went to lunch or something, I was like, there is nothing happening over there. So, yeah, it's not happening. However, they will be at not a new venue. They've actually been here before, the Hilton Dallas Lincoln Center, right around the corner from me, actually, over there off LBJ and 75.
Okay, yeah.
So make sure you attend AllCon if you haven't before. It's a very fun event. Lots of fan-driven content, lots of games that we'll be participating in.
It's a party con.
It is a party con. We're not only doing...
lots of tutorials for like niche things you'd want to learn.
Yeah.
We got a lot of work to do before that, doing a live show, maybe some D&D stuff, and even an alternate heads panel.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. We're going all out, so make sure that you join us for that. I couldn't be happy, because I actually bought passes for them that year we were going.
Yeah.
Because they gave us press, but I wanted to make sure that everybody could go. And they had a chance to refund the passes, or you could donate to the All-Con Fund, which I donated mine. So I felt good doing that. I'm like, no. You take the full price of those badges. We're good.
Yeah.
Y'all have been good to us.
Yeah.
Take the full price of those badges. But yeah, they're back. Hopefully we can get Jedi Cole over here before then, because he has a lot of games. He's already invited me to like the games crew, so I know I'm going to be on it. So I guarantee this is one of those things where it's the panel is happening in 30 minutes. We need to find some people. You too.
We need content creators.
I mean, we were supposed to do a D&D like
celebrity
or something
panel.
stream, which is laughable, but like celebrity panel for D&D and streaming, and I was excited. It was going to
really
be fun.
excited about
I bought stuff to play Cassidy.
Yeah, so did I. Bought stuff to play my character as well.
I know.
Yeah. And I was so excited, and then they canceled it. We're like, that's a right move, but like that would have been fun.
Yeah.
I had this cool duster and everything. And I was ready. But you know what? The time has come to get to do it all over again. So I couldn't be happier. I wanted to get that right out of the way. So yeah, we're going to AllCon. Come with us. So anyway, that was the big announcement. Let's go ahead and kick this thing off with some super cool nerd news. Okay.
We have always pointed at who was going to be first, and never a now you can talk and then I switch scenes. Why do you do this every time I'm on the board?
Because I get out of practice sitting over. Anyway, so I must be getting old because I seem to remember a movie back in my day. When we had to dial out for the internet, and there was this movie.
Was it Alfred Hitchcock, The Birds?
Not that far. Okay. But we had to dial up to get our internet, and if your mama picked up the phone, well, that meant your download was going to take another day. But back then, there was a movie called Scream, made by the king of horror, Wes Craven. And apparently, in 2021, we're doing Scream again. Guys, why are they calling this movie Scream 5? Just call it Scream 5. You're pissing me off. Call it Scream 5.
Because they rebooted it in like 2006 or something, right?
Did they?
Didn't they? There was a Scream.
They did
like
one of those that was super popular at the time, where it was like a movie of the movie. But I think that was Scream like 3. I don't think I ever saw Scream 4.
No, there's like a remake. There was
But
a
this-
proper
okay.
remake.
At this point, I'm
I
kind of
will-
mixing scary movie with Scream, and it's kind of weirding me out a little bit.
That's absolutely fair. No, but I actually think this is appropriate because it's kind of moving it on to a new generation. So I think that they should have called it something other than just Scream, because I agree that is confusing. But I don't know, they're passing the torch on to a new generation, and I don't know, I like that aspect of it.
It was 25 years ago the original Scream came out, and 10 years since the last one.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad to see Neve Campbell back on screen. I had a huge crush on Neve Campbell.
Everybody did.
I know. Also,
Pretty
David Arquette gets to draw a paycheck.
Uh-huh.
I will never forgive him for being the World Heavyweight Champion of the world in WCW. Yes, he was a World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion.
David Arquette.
Courtney Cox's husband?
I am not shitting you. I will tell you all about that
I
later.
thought he was a director.
Look, wrestling fans everywhere just groaned because I reminded them of this horrendous event. But anyway, moving on.
Wrestling fans have to deal with the fact that, and it's not wrestling per se, that Logan Paul is fighting now, and like we don't want that. Yeah.
So, Courtney Cox, speaking of her, she will be returning to the cast as Gail Weathers. And of course, David Arquette, not Dewey Riley, sorry. But Roger Jackson, who was the original voice of Ghostface, is returning to the role. And also, I had to point this out when I wrote this, he was also the voice of Mojo Jojo on Powerpuff Girls.
Oh my god.
And he suddenly seems less scary.
Yeah, a little bit.
I would pay good money to hear Mojo Jojo's voice coming out of Ghostface.
I think I can make that happen.
I would pay cash money.
I mean, I've done some video
that would
editing.
be very easy
That's
to do
pretty
from a
easy.
video
Mr. Jackson,
perspective.
call me. I need this to happen.
I was a little bit sad that I didn't see Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard returning, and then I remembered why they weren't returning.
People actually insinuating that
spoilers.
that Ghostface is. They basically
Is
took
Matthew Lillard?
They took a side-by-side shot of him like playing Shaggy, and they have like the same
I saw
Oscar
that!
and everything.
Oh my god.
And it would only take 0.01% of Shaggy's power to just revive him.
Oh God! Don't.
But it would
don't.
scare him.
Oh, hello, chat. Thank you for joining us, by the way. I don't know how I feel about this. It's gonna happen anyway.
It's
Just
not
call
the
it
first
Scream
time.
5.
It's not the first time that it's happened, though. Halloween came out like 3 years ago.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
I mean,
Did
it's
they do
not
that?
as bad as The Suicide Squad. I'm sorry.
Hey, this was the
Suicide
better
Squad-
movie.
It is the
I
better movie.
don't acknowledge the other one exists now. Screw David Ayer.
I mean, it's the better movie, but like the title
is
is
garbage.
more egregious.
Yeah.
I
than
like,
that.
I like that Ghostface has become more technology aware,
Uh-huh.
especially with the whole like calling,
I thought
texting,
that was really cool,
and
too.
hacking someone's door locks and everything.
Also, if you recognized that girl and couldn't remember where, go ahead and rewatch the second season of You. She's in that.
Damn it!
good little actress.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wrote up the story and I still didn't see where she was. But anyway,
Yeah, she's the girl that lives in his apartment complex.
the one thing that always killed me about Scream, I'm sorry, look, Ghostface has a knife. Introduce him to a shotgun.
Yeah.
But, like, that was supposed to be this whole build-up to, like, they knew him.
Yeah.
Like, that was part of it with the knife is because close and blah, blah, blah. But also, we were watching something the other day that pointed out that, interestingly, they broke a trope that had existed for a hot minute of the last girl who's innocent and wholesome and studies and whatever. And they're usually the last girl to either survive or get killed. And Scream did it right up front. With Drew Barrymore's character. They're like, nope, dead.
Which is really funny about a movie that literally is existing to make fun of the tropes.
Yeah.
Like, it's good for them. I didn't even catch that one when I saw it back in the day. I saw it after it came out.
She was already a huge star, so she was like one of the big things that.
Oh
pulled
yeah,
the
it was not
audiences in.
cheap to get Drew.
Yeah.
She went in and out, like
Like
stardom
Janet
for
Leigh.
like a minute because her huge stardom started with E.T.
She was like 6.
And she was like 4.
Was she?
I looked a lot
Jason,
like
do you
her
remember
as
the
a
premiere
child.
of that movie? Jason, I was 2. Jason, do you remember?
Of which?
E.T.
Yes.
Wait, when did E.T. come out?
I think like 94,
What are we
right?
just talking? 94? What? Like in
When did E.T. come out?
the 80s?
Oh, I wasn't
like
born.
84.
Oh,
I wasn't born.
I wasn't even a fetus yet. My older sister wasn't even.
You weren't even a thought.
None of us were.
Anyway, so yeah, we're doing Scream all over again. I do like the line in there, speaking of gun though. I'm Sidney Prescott, of course I have a gun.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
She learned. She understood the assignment. Anyway,
That's what I like about Halloween.
but also
Anyway.
I wrote that story up. Go check out supercoolnerdshow.com for that and more. Anyway. Who's it?
It could be fun. I'm gonna see it.
It's
probably.
your decision, Jason. You throw it.
Core. I threw off the dynamic of the show.
Jason's forgotten how to do the show.
He
How
really
did that
did.
happen?
Totally did.
Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way. Because I don't really know how much to talk about with it. Because there was so much. So everyone knows Endwalker comes out next month. It comes out on November 23rd for those who did not pre-order. And it comes out the Friday before that if you did pre-order. So you still have time to go pre-order. But this past week, literally yesterday, the media embargo was lifted. And there's so much that I don't even know where to begin. We got to look at all of the new classes that are going to be coming out. So for Reaper and for Sage, we got to see how they work, everything like that. We got to see all of the reworks that every class was going to get. All of our new skills, how they weave into each other with the existing skills, things that are being taken away, things that are being given back. A lot of classes are like that lost certain skills are getting those back and to replace newer skills. Like it's interesting in that regard. We got to take a closer look at all of the artifact gear, which is our level 90 gear. And we also got to get a good look at the male Viera, since that's going to be coming out at 6.0 as well. Like, anything you can think of, anything you can fathom, we got in-depth detail about it. And there is so much. Like, I'm on overload still. We also got to learn a little bit about what Endwalker is going to be like. And if that picture of Yoshi P did not scare you, it should, because that was the look he gave as the translator translated into English everything that we're going to get to go through, and I'm scared. The last thing I want to bring up, just real quick, is we do have a couple of events coming up here soon. The Final Fantasy 15 event will end in the next few days. When that is over, then we will get the Moogle Trove event, which includes the Letterman jacket from, I believe Japan had that one. Japan and Asian countries had that. And we will also have the Dragon Quest event coming back as well.
Little bit of overload? Just a little bit?
Oh, that's a lot of info to drop. Like,
It's so much, and that's not everything we got.
Yeah.
There is still so much. Like,
and that, like, sneaky villainous smiles.
Just
saying
don't bother her the day
could
this all
be
comes out.
surprises
I
even.
will.
Oh, make no mistake that the Friday that the early release comes out, because I did pre-order.
I'll see you at your house.
Yeah,
Weird.
I couldn't ask off for work, unfortunately, because I'm still new at my job, so they won't let me ask off quite that early. But do not bother me that weekend. I don't exist.
Well,
I feel like that's absolutely fair.
What weekend is it?
I'm gonna go
The
bother.
weekend before Thanksgiving.
See
It's
you.
not D&D then.
See you, buddy.
I did get the collector's box set though, so I can do a quick video detailing what's inside of it. You will see that I am tired because I will be playing Endwalker.
Just constantly.
I'll be over the house like,
It's-
hey, can I borrow a cup of sugar? Just
I mean, and like, we all have at least one of those properties.
God of War, Overwatch 2.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Don't bother me.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear from me? The Friday Metroid Dread came out.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
I was parked right there.
It's funny though, the first day of his job and he's still hitting up the chat. Like,
Oh,
Priorities.
As soon as I left work, I was done. I was done. Wife was on shift, so it was basically like, kids, leave me alone.
Respect. I mean, mad respect.
They got games to play, and so did I. And also Metroid Dread is really good.
you can watch if you're quiet.
But anyway,
All right. So, if you thought we were done with the era of Disney remaking movies basically shot for shot, you were wrong. If you thought that Disney might stop with animated movies, remaking them basically shot for shot, you were wrong. If you thought there was a kid less charming than Macaulay Culkin, you were wrong.
In the first one, he got better.
Disney is releasing a movie called Home Sweet Home Alone. It's the exact same movie.
I need some
It's just
water after that
Home
song.
Alone, except with a couple of slightly different characters. And instead of Joe Pesci, I think was the name of the guy in the first one, instead of that, you have Kimmy Schmidt. And, like, that's it.
That is fun though.
It is fun, except it's not, like, it's just the same movie. I don't understand what's going on. They barely updated it.
Plus, like, you can't be as brutal. One of the parts of charm, I don't want to, like, yell a lot about how everything's changed, but the lack of safety and the absolute cruelty that kid, and also that they were willing to inflict back on him,
Yeah.
that's not a great message for today. So they're going to have to cut out some of the parts that make it honestly funny.
Yeah.
Mostly, I think updating comedy ideals is a good idea, but this is going to be in a way to not funny.
Home Alone was a story of some parents that needed to be reported to CPS.
Yep.
I'm sorry. When you have that many kids, you have systems in place to make sure they're all accounted for.
I can account for that.
Okay, so
Like,
just real quick, when it comes to how many kids were in that house, it was cousins and everyone had come to stay at their house that night because they were all going on the same flight in the morning.
Mhm.
Right, but that even more so then.
Okay, then that's even worse. You
Yeah.
couldn't keep track of your kids.
Yeah.
That's where your brother and sister going. We know where all ours were.
Every other summer, we used to have 15 people in our 3-bedroom, 15 kids.
15 kids in
And
our
I-
3-bedroom house.
Also-
Although it was
we've
never 15
been
at a
in
time.
that situation before, and that never happened to any of us.
Well,
Not in something
not
like
in
that.
serious ways, no.
And like, I don't know. The Home Alone is fine, and I don't hate it. I watched it for the first time
pretty
recently. It's
cute.
fine. I do not understand why they're remaking this movie. They're making it this time with like British people, which doesn't actually change anything. But also, the internet is a thing, and I don't understand how you do Home Alone with the introduction.
Maybe they're doing it with British people so that when they remake the second one, he gets lost on the New York grid system. It will make more sense.
I have to admit, I saw this was a thing, and I had no desire to even look at the trailer.
I watched the trailer out of spite.
I thought I was like, really? I'm good. I don't need to.
Is that a story? Not really. I just wanted to complain about it.
I was like, hey, look at this Hawkeye featurette. There we go. I'll watch that.
Like, Disney has a
It's just-
few ideas, and they put all of them into Marvel or Star Wars.
Yeah.
Other than that, out.
Anyway, that's
Which
my first.
also check out Star Wars.
That's my first story.
Cat, bring us back from the brink or take us further into the abyss.
Not yet. Metroid Dread is sold 87,000 copies, which I thought at first was like cool for a niche game, like, right? And it said that was a record, and I was like, okay. Then I read the article, physical, 87,000 physical. They don't have digital reports yet. It is their highest selling property since 2000. Metroid property since 2000.
I told y'all so.
I haven't played it yet. Jason, what's it like?
I love it. It is like old school Metroid. You start out kind of not as powerful, and you're just getting power ups. As soon as I could morph ball, I just wanted to cry. But it feels like I want to go back to just classic side scrolling games. I think they re-released. Well, they did a remake of Strider a couple years ago, and I love that game. I like going, but also Metroid is fast. Like it is. You need to move quick in there. Yeah. I'm loving the puzzle aspect. You can explore certain parts, but you can't get to certain parts until you get certain power. It's Metroid again, and I love it. Why did it take you so long? Because honestly, I'm gonna admit though, the game doesn't seem like anything special. Like as far as like groundbreaking graphics or anything like that. A lot of the dialogue is on screen. There is some voice acting in there. It's pretty basic. You don't hear anything. I won't spoil anything. But honestly, it feels like a Metroid game that they just evolved. An old school Metroid game.
It's been so hard for game companies to do that. Like I get why, I guess, but like they've tried to remake or re-release or whatever that feel like the originals. It's just hard.
And Super Metroid is probably top 5 favorite games of all time. Like,
not me.
It's such a good game, so I'm absolutely down.
I'm having a blast with it. I haven't finished it yet. I've been playing I was kind of questioning. I thought it was going to be a quick game. Mm-hmm. No, I'm getting quite. I've been playing since, kind of really Saturday, and I'm still like getting content. Of course, I didn't play today. Yeah. Maybe about 2 hours a day. Okay. So I've already unlocked about 10 plus hours of content. You spend a lot of your time going back and forth, but that's Metroid. So
that's how it goes.
But 87,000 physical copies.
Physical copies.
I wonder what the digital copies are, because
What are you playing it on?
Switch? Oh, just the regular Switch. I am thinking about getting the
PS4.
What? No.
The new upgraded Switch.
Well, apparently, you can get a pretty good trade-in for your Switch at GameStop right now towards getting the upgraded one. So I'm considering it.
Anywhere else not GameStop?
I know, right?
That's fair.
They're literally my last stop for anything. If I have not find it anywhere else. But anyway, good news about Metroid. I'm glad that Nintendo finally realized, hey, we could probably make a little bit of money here. Mm-hmm. After denying me for so long.
And not putting the Mario games on the App Store. Like, I've been yelling for a hot minute about that.
Well, it's because a lot of the Mario games, like the old school ones, are on the Nintendo Switch Online.
No, I know. Like, it just is sad because they put Mario games out every couple of years, but it's some trash thing they just made up that's like a one-tap run game or something, and I'm like, I just want to play Super Mario, World or something on it.
Super Mario World is on the online.
We don't have a Switch, so.
Also, I did start building a review of Metroid Dread. I was collecting all the footage, but...
Cool.
Yeah.
I realized while you're talking that I haven't played it since I got diagnosed with ADHD. It might be different.
Same reason probably I can't get you to play Hollow Knight.
No.
Alright.
Oh, so I guess it's back over to me.
Make Kid Icarus again and I'll be on board. It's a side scroll except you go up.
Well, moving on to me. One of my favorite things this year, speaking of nostalgia, was Masters of the Universe Revelations on Netflix. Loved this show. Also, was had an accompanying toy line. Got some reviews coming out because I found Tila finally. Tila's awesome.
No idea, but cool.
Anyway, but we did get a new poster and announcement for the new start date, November 23rd. We were getting part 2 of Masters of the Universe Revelation. The poster is very kind of spoilerish. We saw at the end, Skeletor got the sword, became Skelegod. But also, we see an image of He-Man on the front which some people found unfamiliar. It's actually not. They are throwing it all the way back to the creation of Masters of the Universe. Because you notice that He-Man doesn't have his trademark sword in his hand. He's got an axe. Well, Masters of the Universe was never centered around the power sword. It was centered around different factions and different people becoming Masters of the Universe and gaining control. When He-Man was first introduced, his signature weapon was an axe, not a power sword. I guess during the cartoon they were like, we're going to tone it down a little bit on the axe stuff and maybe just give him a sword.
Doesn't the I am the power, isn't that moment from when he finally gets the sword?
And that was strictly for the show. If you look at some of the old comic books, some of the reference material, He-Man doesn't even have the sword. But this look is actually from the first comic of He-Man where he was just a barbarian and the current sorceress gave him his harness, the axe and the shield. No power sword. And he was just He-Man, but he was just a barbarian. Well, along with this, they're also releasing a figure of this character. I kind of feel, for all the criticism this thing got, they're really going with some original material that was presented in the original concept for the show. And I'm here for it. I love this show, and I can't wait to see part 2. So, yeah, I think the show is still brilliant. I love the characters on there. I love the voice acting. I thoroughly enjoy it, and I'm here for more of it.
I also appreciate shows when they're based on something that begin where they begin. I remember when The Witcher show first came out, a lot of people were very angry that he doesn't have the cat eyes. Well, he's not supposed to have them yet. This is based on the books, not the games. And so I kind of appreciate something that takes a minute to get where it's going instead of just giving you aesthetics.
Yeah.
Well, but still started at a place that was relevant. They weren't going to show you how he became
It's
the
no one read
Witcher at
books.
first. Anyway, but yeah, he's not supposed to have them, and now it makes it a cool progression.
Yeah, we're going to see that moment instead of him just already having everything.
Which also
like
can't
that.
wait for that one soon.
Exactly.
Either that, or they couldn't get him to put in the scleras.
You know what,
Henry's
that's
like,
great,
no, I don't like it. Also, cat eyes go sideways real quick.
That's what movie magic editing is for.
Netflix is going to be taking up a lot of our time here, coming up here real soon.
Netflix is taking up a lot of my
We're
time
gonna
now.
review
I still haven't watched
Sandman
it, but I'm waiting on-
minute by minute.
I'm waiting on our show. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. We had to play, when y'all were not here, we had to just play the trailer just so we could, I don't know, just so we could play it really.
Yeah.
I just want to add a little tidbit about the Netflix show for Cowboy Bebop, real fast. Just this is just a quick little tidbit.
Go for
it. Go on.
The original Japanese voice cast for Cowboy Bebop will be the ones doing the dub.
Dope.
Or not the dub. Well, I guess the dub for Japan. So
Yay!
the original Japanese voices will be doing the Japanese voices for the
Which
live
is
action.
awesome, but also how come they get awesome dubs? We get
get
Squid
Squid
Game,
Game,
which is
terrible
Korean,
dub.
not.
Because they actually hire people that are trained voice actors to do voice acting instead of hiring actors to do voice acting. Hi, I'm still bitter.
That's a very good point.
But anyway,
I'm just saying, I think it's more they care. They care.
Yeah.
They're like, this is good enough for you.
Yeah.
but yeah, there was a Master Universe thing.
Nice.
Also, I forgot to mention, the toy has a 2-pack. It's Orko. If you haven't watched the show, I'm not going to spoil it. Orko
Haven't
was just
watched
the most tragic character on this show. I feel as though I'm just going to put that figure in a case. and
Who's
never
making the
touch it again.
figure?
Hmm?
Who's making the
Mattel.
figure? Cool.
Nice.
Anyway, keeping up with going back around.
So, Blizzard's World of Warcraft, right? They are dropping more of the suggestive content that they've had in the past. Some of it is mildly suggestive, and I don't think they can. I think they have to have people full-time looking for suggestive content to drop because there's so much to the world now. But they have voice lines they're dropping, names of places, names of people, and also in the areas where you can find concubines and hostesses, there will be not just one gender represented as options anymore.
Which gender was it?
Well, who knows?
We all know what gender it was.
No, and in something that's not related at all, I'm sure, on September 27th, Activision and Equal Employment Opportunity Commission reached a settlement for $18 million and no admission of liability. And then the California Department for Employment and Housing, like Fairness Commission, I think, they filed an objection and they said you're going to destroy all the evidence, and I'm sure there's a gag order involved and all this stuff. And they said, like, no, that's not good enough for us. So this is going to go on for a minute, I think, probably. It's really disappointing to hear that some of that's going on.
But they're not getting off the hook.
No, I just like, I mean, like,
I'm happy about that.
We've known about riot culture for years, right? And
You
then,
don't get
like,
to buy
to
your
find
way out of this
out
one.
that there's more, it just still, like, kind of bums me out to think about it. But Overwatch League is offline right now, but I'm trying to remember, not, like, we don't want them to be punished. They have a lot of women involved in their production teams and their on-air stuff, and, like, they were feeling it pretty deep because they've been great leaders in the industry.
But also, they are not responsible for this type.
They're not at
a
all.
separate entity.
It's just sad because, like,
But they are
sponsorships got dropped and stuff, and it's punishing women.
But there is an association.
Yeah,
Sad.
there is. I get it. It's difficult. The whole thing's difficult, but, like, at the same time, I hope it encourages Blizzard to make sure that any problematic behavior doesn't just get erased with a lawsuit, like, that they actually address it and move forward. So, yeah, that's where Blizzard is right now.
Something I actually hadn't planned to talk about on the show. I am not nearly qualified enough to cover this subject, but you reminded me of it. IATSE is striking right now. So it's just something to Google. It will affect productions of things that we love in the future, but it is important to remember that these people are striking because they were working horrendously long hours. They weren't getting weekends. They weren't getting lunches. This is really, really important that they do this, even though it will affect when things that we like come out. So it's just something I wanted to mention. IATSE is the name of the organization that is striking, the union. They had a 90% voter turnout and a 98% voter agreement to strike. So these people are on it, and they're already getting help from groups that help people strike. So just something I wanted to bring up.
This is something that's been coming for a minute because
It's
Hollywood,
not just them.
with its, a lot of the actors have pretty specific contracts and they're getting compensated, but also they have managers and agents to help them, like, nail down their contracts. And for a long time, there's been a tendency for, like, a lot of places to treat crews like garbage.
Especially streaming services.
And this is this is mostly to do with crews, production teams, some post-production, but mostly production teams.
Mostly on-set production people.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I think as we come out of these times, the power is really on the side of the worker right now.
Yeah.
Because they're not the only ones striking. It's time to pay people a living wage.
Yes, it is.
And I'm honestly liking what I'm seeing right now. John Deere had a big walkout, 10,000 employees, which is a large number of but also their CEO had like a 160% increase to his raise. I'd be a little PO too.
Yeah.
Raising Cane's is having to send corporate employees to work at their stores.
It's a good time to see that
Yeah.
the power shift has happened, and I'm waiting to see what happens from it.
Something I just wanted to mention, mostly to encourage you to Google things and find out more, because again, I don't have a lot of information. I'm
Right.
only kind of involved in that industry. Hope to be much more involved in that industry soon. Anyways, so Doctor Who season 13 is coming up. The BBC actually, who has much better laws for how they treat their employees, especially in that industry. So the BBC Doctor Who Twitter and YouTube account were suspended, and the only thing that came up was a glitch of the 13th Doctor. There have been billboards and all kinds of things glitching and showing the Doctor needing our help. I think this is going to be really interesting. It's going to be a season followed by 3 specials, one on New Year's, one in spring of next year, and one in autumn of next year, where the 13th Doctor will regenerate, which is a little sad, but I understand it. But it's going to be one story. The season and the specials are going to be one story instead of being episodic, which is interesting. It's very, very long.
They tried that in what, like, season... They started to get
They started
more
to get
that
longer,
way with
yeah.
Capaldi.
Which is how they used to do it way, way back before New Who. They used to have 4, 5, 6 episode arcs.
Which is why it's so disappointing that they lost some of it
We
forever.
watched it on public TV, or PBS. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, it is going to start October 31st, and she has one of her companions that has been on the TARDIS, and then they added another white man for her to have on the TARDIS with her. So.
Well, I guess this is a good time to drop a bombshell that I will be the next Doctor.
I'd be down.
I want to thank everyone for their support. Yes,
I wouldn't be down for you to be the next Doctor.
that's so wrong. I mean,
But, like...
that's too bad because I'm
Because it's happening.
I hate to announce it. I reached, me and BBC, we reached an agreement.
Yeah.
I think it's very lucrative. I'll be stepping away from the show for a little while.
Okay, we'll take over
y'all-
with the studio you'll
Y'all,
buy us.
don't touch my toys.
We're
But
going to sell them, all of
I'm
them.
going to take all of my toys with me when I go.
Which is
Still
fine.
gonna
Buy
sell
us
them.
a
But I'll be
studio with what BBC
But I'll
pays
be
you.
back, of course, after my tenure as a doctor is over. It's
course.
good to be 14. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing.
I mean, I hate. I just want. I hate to take the shine off the show.
I gotta say, it's
With my big
interesting.
announcement. Thank
The last time they announced it in a, hundreds of thousands of dollars studio, and you're announcing it right here.
Well, it was a glitch then. I was actually, I thought that Jodie would be better, and plus me and her go back.
Of course. And quit giving away that we're not a $100,000 studio.
But I thought it was her time, but now it's mine.
I think
So-
if you just up and left to go film Doctor Who, then your wife would be mad enough to give us your credit card. That's true.
Yeah.
spend all his damn money. You going to England for you son of a bitch.
I'm just saying. It's my first
It'll
plan.
be sad to see Jodie go though.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss her.
I'm excited to see who's next, though.
Anyway, Cora.
Alright, eventually y'all are gonna get tired of me talking about Prince of Tennis on this show.
No.
Oh, thank you. Okay,
Is that something at Dennis?
Anyways,
3 scrambled eggs.
I actually have 2 things to tell you about Prince of Tennis today. We got 2 new things about Prince of Tennis today. We will be getting a new anime for Prince of Tennis 2. It'll be the first new Prince of Tennis series in 10 years. This is all obviously for the 20th anniversary of the Prince of Tennis anime, and I feel very old
Sure.
saying these words because I watched it when it was current. But in 2022 we will have a new anime, the Prince of Tennis 2 U17 World Cup. We don't have very much information on that right now, other than we have several actors coming back to reprise their roles, specifically Junk Minagawa as Riona. We have Ryotaro Okiayu. That's a hard one. As Tezuka, and Junichi Suwaba as Atabe. In addition to that, we will also be getting a new Prince of Tennis game for the Switch.
Wow!
Previously, we've only gotten kind of like dating sim type games, which is really weird to think about with tennis, and like mobile games. It is being made by Bushiroad, which is the same company that did the previous mobile games and such. They haven't really announced anything else other than, the last game was in 2015. Guesses are it'll probably be like a visual novel style video game, whatever it is. I'm going to get it immediately, and I'm going to play the ever-loving crap out of it.
No way.
Fair.
Look,
We all have our thing.
I love these characters. And I can't really say if I recommend people watch Prince of Tennis. Just because it's...
And we all have one of those.
Well, like, it's one of those, I recommend watching the first few episodes just to watch how ridiculous it is. But I'm very, very painfully aware that it is also kind of cringe sometimes. But it was one of the first, like, sports anime I watched, so I'm just, like, beholden to it forever.
Yeah, like there's always this thing, and there's also things that like you just honestly can't tell if people will love. When I became Cradle of Filth fan back in the day, I was like, listen to it. If you hate it after 2 songs, never listen to it again. Because they're just niches.
Yeah. That's how I recommended Doctor Who to my friends. I just found it.
What?
Doctor Who. Like, I'd never heard of anybody that watched it. It was weird. This was in, like, 2010.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, this was last year. Never heard of anybody that watched it.
I kept asking what the box
watch
was
it.
at the cons.
I do remember in college, in one of our classes, you pointed out my Doctor Who belt. And we talked for, like, all of...
I forget sometimes that we went to college together.
Yeah. For that one class.
For that
Weirdest
one
thing I've
class.
ever heard. Really? Y'all? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a college
straight
class
up,
together.
We had
Yeah.
acting 2 together.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
then.
comes up like way less than you'd think. About
I
every
never
like
knew this.
2 years, like one of you will mention it offhand
Yeah.
to each other, and that's about it.
We
It's
weren't
like,
friends. Like, I don't know why, but we weren't.
We didn't have anything against each other.
Yeah.
It was just... didn't happen.
Yeah. Anyways.
Anyways, Jason, back to you. Unless we want to talk more about
It is,
tennis.
no, I got something that's kind of more just me, kind of. It is now October 2021, and I still have yet to get a PS5, mainly because they are just not available. My buddy Nate got one. Nate had to get up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and go to Best Buy and wait there for like 3 hours, but he got a disc PS5. I am unwilling to do such things. I just am.
If you pay me $100, I'll go to a Best Buy at 2 o'clock in the morning and wait outside for 3 hours.
I forget you're a vampire sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I'll probably do that. I'm actually tempted. However, there are other avenues that have opened up here recently. PlayStation possibly is going to be selling units directly from PlayStation, which is very surprising. Yes, we're talking about PlayStation taking an allotment of their product and skipping brick and mortar stores. Kind of unheard of. However, there's a caveat to this. You can't just go on there. First, you have to have a PSN account.
Mm-hmm.
Go register for that, and then you can go to, let me get the website.
I mean, you should probably have, most people will have one if they had a PS4.
It's basically PlayStation.com, US, PS5, register to buy. Look up that. Once you verify that you have a PSN account, you just hit register, and now you are basically in a drawing to buy a PS5 next month when PlayStation restocks. They don't have the number of how many they're going to be restocking. This does not make you eligible to buy one immediately, but it does give you the opportunity to buy one directly from them. And yes, I already did register. I am that much of a shill. I want my PS5. Basically, yeah, next month there'll be a limited amount of them. If selected, they contact you via email, and then you can buy one. So keep, $500 or $600 handy to cover that bill once it comes in. So yeah, that's all you need to do. I'm just more concerned about, we typically can't do this with game products. We can't go directly to the source. It's like buying a car. You got to go to a car lot to get it. You can't buy it directly from the manufacturer. And I wonder how much pushback PlayStation, if any, who care, they can say, I don't care what you think, from other retailers who will not be able to sell those units.
I wonder if it's...
Or
I mean, probably quite a bit, but I wonder if it's because of scalpers.
I was going to say, please don't buy it from a reseller.
Ooh.
Just please don't buy it from a reseller, even as
Oh,
their
no, I
prices
haven't.
start to... No, you weren't going to. I meant anybody. Like,
Yeah, I hate scalpers through and through for toys. Anything.
Exactly. But I wonder if that's one of the reasons.
That's a good
That they
question.
just
because
can't trust their...
this would reduce scalpers.
By a
You have to
lot.
register with your PSN account. I wonder if they're taking into account, is your PSN account registered with a PS5?
if your I don't think they would do that specifically, but I think what they would do is they would, you can deny a certain number of credit card purchases And if they have access to that information, even just like in a, like, not that they can read all the number or whatever, but like if it's the same credit card, then they could refuse to sell
No, they
multiple
actually do
ones.
have systems like that in place. Target has actually implemented that because the fandom was getting really PO'd at Target about them not doing. We're talking about stuff is up for like 5 seconds and gone.
Yeah.
So people were like, and Target did something about it because there were wanted items on their website after they implemented this change. They were up for like a day or two afterwards. Like you could go on, like still there, click, buy.
Yeah.
So
But that was Target, and a lot of these brick and mortar stores they haven't been able to trust. So it makes sense to me.
it's
Plus,
kind of
like giant. I've been in a situation where the working retail where we were selling a very hot product that we couldn't stock. There's a lot of consideration.
Yeah.
There's a lot of labor that goes into it, and there's a lot of information, a lot of very angry customers, a lot of bad reviews, and also like they're a lot more aggressive than they used to be. They'll try and get in your face, and they'll try and pay in cash, and sometimes you can even they lock down a policy and say you can't pay in cash. And then they're like, that's illegal, but it's not because it's not a debt.
And I will go ahead and call out GameStop managers and reselling PS5s on eBay. Because we have heard direct stories about them doing it. So, it could be, there's a number of problems that doing it this way overcomes. And if I get my email for a PS5, even better.
I like the idea of registering directly with them and just skipping all that, a lot of hassle and a lot of, I hope they do this more.
I would like to think they're like, you've been keeping product out of our gamers' hands and overpricing it, so we're just going to sell it directly for now.
Yeah.
So there. I just want them people that have PlayStation 5s up on eBay for $1,000 right now to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
I hope, hopefully they're field testing it for future releases now that the demand's down somewhat. Maybe in the future it'll be an exclusive, like, you get it from us, we're not doing all that again.
We'll see. We'll see how many units are provided and how many happy employees or happy customers are out there.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Yes.
Anyway, Kat, you got another one?
Where do you register to get one for free?
Yeah.
No? Nowhere? Okay. So, Halloween events are back in almost every video game that does Halloween events. Junkenstein's Revenge started again this week, so I've been Hanzoing and McCreeing it up, using my one time a year to play DPS, and, anyway. And also, I know, like, Rainbow Six has one, and, like, Rocket League has one. Like, every game where you play
Fortnite has
online has one. It seems like, and
One of my favorite free to play is City of Heroes. They have their Halloween event going right now.
fans in a lot of different games this year have been very irate about it being like similar gameplay, like event style gameplay and games that you play than previous years, and I'm just like, this is free. It's all free. And you get some drops every year for like cool skins, cool whatever in most games. But yeah, fans are throwing a fit, and I'm just like, calm down. Free DLC is a gift.
It's a fun thing to do. It's something they don't have to do as well.
Yeah, like I personally really look forward to a limited time event like Junkenstein's Revenge. I can only play it this time of year and intermittently during the anniversary event, and I like it. I don't want to play a new game mode right now. I want to play.
I just like all the new suits.
There is,
like
speaking
the
of which,
Roadhog
I
that
chose the picture.
I want Genji's skeleton. I don't even like Genji, but I want the skeleton.
Really? I don't like that.
I kind of want to
This-
cosplay this.
This Roadhog with he has an emote with a red balloon where he's just sitting there, or a victory screen with a red balloon just sitting there holding it. His stomach says smile. It's Pennywise. It's cool. It would be an entirely different build than you have.
Yes, I would. It would be way too much work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like clowns.
And yet I'm over here just going, do it.
Yeah, I don't like clowns either. That didn't mean we wouldn't make
Okay.
the like it sketch or anything.
Might be less intimidating from a 5'4" girl, but
A little bit.
How many ways do your eyes go?
Exactly.
That's really it. I just like to remind people that, like, yes, they owe you bug fixes in the first few years.
Yeah.
They don't owe you new content, but it's nice to have it, and I look forward to it. I'm happy to play with other people who are happy to play.
Exactly.
But if you have a game you haven't checked out in a while that you play frequently, go check it out. They probably have a Halloween event.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Speaking of events, Matt Reeves, who's directing the new The Batman movie, released a picture of Batman looking out over Gotham City, along with a very brief teaser that shows the bat signal, and it says it's not just a signal, it's a warning. That is Batman saying that. And all of that is getting ready for DC Fandom, which is coming up actually this weekend. Fandom. We are promised new content about Matt Reeves' The Batman, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which is a video game, Gotham Knights, which is a video game, which I'm very, very much looking forward to, in very much the Arkham series kind of vibe, but playing different characters. And also Andy Muschietti, which I've recently been informed is, I think, how you pronounce it, has promised that we will see new information about the Flash movie that he is doing with Ben Affleck as Batman, which I'm actually more excited about than the Batman movie.
Who's Andy Muschietti?
Andy Muschietti, if you don't know who that is, he is the man that directed It and It Part 2, and also directed Mama, which came out in like 2013-ish with Nikolaj Coster-Waldau. He's a horror director, the latest in a growing list of horror directors that are moving over to superhero. You have James Wan, who directed Saw, is directing Aquaman, and you have
David F. Sandberg.
Our favorite, David F. Sandberg, who directed the Shazam movie, and it's actually working out extraordinarily well. I think horror directors have this kind of they understand how to build up to a moment, which is also very important in superhero stories. So that is this weekend. We are promised a bunch of information. The Batman is supposed to come out March 4th of next year. We'll see if Robert Pattinson can keep his head on straight long enough to actually give out a decent performance.
I mean, like, I never, ever, ever, ever would have hired Ben Affleck, and I loved
That's
him.
true.
I think
And
he did a phenomenal job, so I'm trying to be like, plus, Andy Muschietti, like, can cast.
Andy Muschietti is doing the Ben Affleck one. Matt Reeves is doing...
Well, I'm sure he can call Andy then and ask him who to cast if he needs to.
Yeah. So I am cautiously optimistic about the Batman, and I am not cautiously optimistic about the Flash. I'm just optimistic.
And if you miss any of that on Fandom, you can always go over to supercoolnerdshow.com, where I'll be reposting things I see and giving some analysis.
Absolutely.
Also, David F. Sandberg not too long ago dropped like either a teaser or a shot of Shazam 2. So I guess they're working.
And
I forgot about that.
We get to see The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Black Adam.
Wow.
I love The Rock, okay?
He's a very handsome man.
I
Very
love
handsome and very
The Rock.
Yes,
I also
yes,
love
yes.
Zachary Levi.
I also
like,
do love Zachary Levi.
I couldn't even say him, of course. Like, I'm damn sure he's too.
I am not ashamed.
we need
Are you thirsty, Cora?
fans
For The Rock,
per
everyone should
a
listen to
D&D
The Rock.
stream I've been watching. We need fans to bust out and be like,
Like the 7? Absolutely wonderful.
Cora, can you take us home?
I can. I'm gonna take you home with more sports. More sports anime stuff.
Absolutely.
However,
shocking.
okay, so this is actually something that's really cool. I actually got to beta this game a couple of years ago, and it's really fun. And it's something, it is a tabletop card RPG called Fight with Spirit. Fight with Spirit is you get to live out your sports anime dreams. You literally get to play as a team. So it's a collaborative game. You have up to 4 people playing plus the DM essentially. And together you create characters. Like when you sit down, you create characters. And you kind of make their connections with each other. And how like all of you are connected. You come up with your team mascot, you come up with your school, it can be high school or college.
What sport?
Any sport.
Oh.
If it is a college sport or a high school sport, anywhere, go for it. It is not limited to specific sport. And you can have co-ed teams if you want to. So if you wanted to make a male character, but your friend wanted to make a female character, that's fine. You want to make a character that is gender fluid or non-binary or transgender, you can also do that. There's no limit for that either. They've specifically made that with these kind of things in mind. And you work together to basically get to the end game, work your way to the end goal. It's so much fun. I cannot state how much fun this was to beta with the creators, which is Story Brew Studios. Like, it's great. I will go ahead and link the Kickstarter since I'm over here at the board. I'm gonna go ahead and link this Kickstarter in the chat.
I don't think you can put it in the chat.
Well, let me put it in the
Yeah, you
chat.
can put it in the chat. You can put it in the description
that's right,
later,
really-
too.
Don't tell her what she can and
We're the
can't do.
admin. We can do what we want to.
It will also be in the description box after this video goes live. They've already made their goal. Their goal was 25K, and they are sitting currently at 28K 500.
Do they have perks for after goal? Just curious. Some do, some don't.
Let me check.
I give up. Her ankles are very weak.
Oh, same.
Just like me.
Mine's true.
Her feet.
You had knees, I thought.
Everything.
Soft rubber.
Hips neat. I was gonna say same again,
Compared
but that
less than
sounded a little
plastic
weird.
to the feet.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like her toes. I don't like that.
It doesn't look like they have any like super extra stuff. They do have, of course, a lot of other extra things in it. They have some game tokens, sticker sheets, of course, a really nice rule book.
I mean, honestly, that's nice. Like, if they're still doing perks for people, that's cool. Doesn't have to be a
I'm sorry.
huge thing.
Oh, wait. 2 free expansions are also included in every box.
Dope.
Nice.
But yes,
Which
that's cool.
Let's see. It looks like they are cricket and baseball. So it looks like they do have some that are more specified for specific sports as well.
Gotcha. Cricket, the game that I do not understand
You
a
gotta
single
know
thing
what
about.
a crumpet is to understand.
I want to play polo.
Oh, you get to ride on horses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hit tiny little balls.
I have no interest in golf, but put me on a horse to do it and I'll try.
Yeah. I plan on backing this Kickstarter as soon as I get home because I got paid today, so I can
Hey,
put money towards it.
get that money.
If y'all are curious about, or if y'all are interested in getting it, it's only about, let's see, it's like $12. It looks like, yeah, $12 for the digital pack.
I just backed HasLab's latest Transformer that they put up.
Of course you did.
Kickstarter is
I'm
kind of
kinda
a
getting tired of
wonderful
this.
thing.
Yeah.
You get to put some power in some smaller productions and stuff, and sometimes fund something big. But like smaller stuff gets
Yeah.
funded that way. A lot of movies.
I did one a while back that was like building what your D&D character, lots of different races and different
Yeah.
things. It's cool. I mess with it all the time.
Story Brew is also not this isn't their first game, by the way. They've done several other card tabletop games in the same vein. I've not played any of them because they didn't catch my interest, but
That's how it goes.
sports anime card
Lovely.
game kind of fell into my niche
Yeah.
instead of the historical period pieces that they have as well.
No, you don't want to be a settler woman.
I do not want to be a high-class British lady.
Get that period card.
I want to be a hyperactive college-age boy playing volleyball.
Seriously,
we
deciding
all?
whether to date the boys that are shirtless over there or the girls who are wearing shirts, probably.
My cat is here ready to be a jerk for the for the tablecloth right now. So
Does that mean we have to wrap it up?
she's like, what's going on over here? Look at her creeping. Anyway.
She's just keeping
Well,
schedule.
that was our last story, and yeah, that is our show, guys. Of course, like I said, watch out for what we're going to be doing during AllCon. This weekend, our latest episode of D&D will be up on the YouTube channel if you missed it on Twitch. And,
It's been fun.
Yeah, it was good to get back to doing that after, people suffering around the house. Anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure you like this video and please subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. If you want to follow us personally, you can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/SCNS Live, and on Instagram and Twitter at SCNS. If you want to follow us personally, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JasonTheX.
You can sometimes find me on Instagram or Twitter at BetterCat.
Same, Twitter and Instagram is a good cast.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at CorodonoArt if you would like to follow me specifically for art-related things or Suikoden news. If you want to follow me for things that are Final Fantasy specific, you can follow me on Twitter at chaotic_noodle.
I bit my tongue right as this show started. That's why I've been sounding so funny all night. So I'm glad to finally
Sound perfectly normal. I thought that's just how you sounded.
It's been hard to talk. My tongue feels fat. I really punched it.
My tongue.
It really feels. I've been like trying to.
And yet you're just as loud.
I know. I'm
And talks just as frequently.
I'm talented like that. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. And as we always say around here, keep on nerding.